Episode 2, Complex Transitions. We open straight after where the last episode left off. Roger Kingsley has been kidnapped by Puma, and Peter is thinking about what to do, contemplating what his next move is. At this point in the episode, Peter will have flashes to Gwen, reminding himself why he put Spider-Man over being happy, why that was his main driving force and decision. Peter couldn't be happy and be Spider-Man. He had to choose one over the other. And after seeing how Captain Stacy is in danger because he knows that Peter is Spider-Man, and Gwen is also in danger because she knows it puts Peter in a tight spot, the only way to release himself from that worry, that guilt, was to just be Peter Parker. But he knew what the city needed was for him to be Spider-Man, so that is what he had to do. We will then take some time in the episode to focus on Gwen and how it's been for her ever since Peter started distancing himself from her. Her career at ESU is skyrocketing, and she has been even offered a scholarship to apply in a few years' time. She should be happy with her life, but she isn't. She should be content, but she can't do that without Peter. She has this feeling in her heart that she isn't able to move on. And this will be when Gwen meets Peter at ESU in this interaction. She really tries to connect herself with Peter, to ask him how he was, but Peter is trying to distance himself from Gwen to prevent her from getting hurt ever again. Peter will be blunt with her at first, but then it gets to rudeness. Gwen tells him that Dr. Warren and her have a demonstration coming up, ever since he got kicked out of ESU, she has something planned. Peter says that he's really looking forward to it, but there's some lingering on that sentence. Peter carries on his day thinking about what he's gonna do. He can't be honest with her, because if this whole mess was because Captain Stacy found out he was Spider-Man, as long as people know his identity, there is a chance that they will get hurt. Peter then bumps into none other than MJ, who has been outside of Midtown High. She says that she heard about what happened at Feast and asks Peter if he's okay. Peter says that he'll be fine, and the two of them grab a coffee together. They'll be talking about their day and how things have been going for both of them. MJ will be subtly hinting that she might know about him being Spider-Man, but she can't bring herself to admit it to him. Peter doesn't say anything, as he's just sitting there. He asks her how things are going with her career, and MJ says that she applied for a couple of acting colleges, but her resume hasn't been accepted quite yet. MJ can see that there's something bothering Peter and asks what's wrong. Peter admits that things have not been working out with him and Gwen, and says that it was going to. MJ holds her head down and tells Peter she understands. Things with Mark right now. Mark Allen currently is still in prison, and she has no idea when he is ever going to get out, as she holds her head down, understanding how Peter is feeling right now. We very clearly can see the chemistry between the two, and this will be the first big emotional moment between them. MJ says that it's a shame Spider-Man was gone too soon. As we know she knows, she just tilts her head toward him. Peter doesn't know that, so he isn't sure what to do. He is still being Spider-Man, but there's no feeling of hope. He needs to feel that again. He has to. Spider-Man then is swinging through the city, looking for any sign of where Roger Kingsley is. During the time in which Puma escaped, he has been committing several crimes and robberies of petty theft, to which Spider-Man encounters him in one of these robberies. However, Spider-Man doesn't engage with him. He plans to follow Puma back to his hideout in order to figure out where Kingsley is. However, Peter accidentally makes a noise, causing Puma to instantly turn around as he fires blades from his claws at Peter. Peter has to get out of his way, but one of the blades almost hits him in the leg. Puma tells him to get out of his way, as Peter is standing on the door. Spider-Man blasts a web at Puma, knocking him out of the way and into outside. He then shoots more webs at him, but Puma's claws allow him to break through every strand of webbing fired his way. Puma then manages to knock Peter to the ground before racing off to a distance. If Spider-Man is to find Puma, he has to find a way to figure out where his lair is. Peter is in his room thinking when he suddenly gets an idea. He opens his computer and does some research on all the places that Puma is robbed. His thought process is that in their last encounter, Puma was very quick to leave, almost as if he was on some sort of time limit. Peter then thinks that Puma's abilities must be genetically enhanced, meaning that he loses energy every few hours. He then does a search on all the places Puma has been, and all the places have a 5-mile radius, meaning that Peter was right on the money. Puma does need some sort of medicine or energy enhancer. Peter then reaches for his mask and prepares to leave when he sees the ticket for the ESU demonstration on his desk. Peter closes his eyes and sighs. Peter sighs and leaves it there as he jumps into the window, swinging through the distance. We cut to a montage of Spider-Man searching through all places that Puma could be when he sees a yellow and black figure darting past him. Bingo, Peter will think to himself as he sees Puma jumping on a building. Peter can't announce his presence just yet. He needs his first and foremost priority to make sure that Roderick Kingsley is okay. That's why he came, to stop Puma. If anything is to come out of him stopping him, it has to be saving Kingsley first. Spider-Man arrives at the building that Puma came from, and he stops to look around. We come to Gwen at the ESU demonstration. She seems happier than usual, and everyone can see that. She is very excited for Peter to be there, and she starts waiting and counting down the hours on when he will arrive, until she looks at the people sitting in the audience. Peter isn't there. The realization dawns on Gwen, and the old happiness she had for the last 10 minutes is gone. He's not going to show up. This isn't the first time it's happened. Peter's always late for things. Why does this surprise her? However, a rage then goes on her face in anger. She doesn't get it. All she's ever tried to do is help Peter and be there for him, but he just keeps pushing her away. She doesn't get it. She doesn't get him, she thinks to herself. We come back to Peter searching Puma's hideout. He keeps looking through empty boxes until he finally opens a door to an underground complex full of technology and equipment. He comes across the locked door, and through a crevice of the other side, he can make up the silhouette of Roderick Kingsley sitting there in the back. Using some brute force, Peter shoves the door open, opening it on the other side. Standing there is Kingsley cowering, begging Spider-Man not to hurt him. Spider-Man says that he's not here to hurt him. He's here to help get him out of here. But before he can get him out of there, they both hear noises from upstairs. He's back, Kingsley will say. Peter gets Kingsley to hide somewhere in the same place he found him. Puma then attacks him, saying that the one who stole from him was Roderick Kingsley. Peter quips, asking, "Have you ever tried fashion design?" The two of them go into a battle, and Peter comes out victorious. It's over. Kingsley is rescued with reporters asking what happened to him as we close episode 2.